The 2024 NFL season is officially underway as the Philadelphia Eagles, I think survive is probably the proper word, 24-20 over the Dallas Cowboys. Welcome into Verts. Here is our post-game reaction. My name is Harrison Graham. Game kind of had everything, right? I mean, kind of a perfect way to kick off the season. It started with Jalen Carter spitting on Dak Prescott before the first play of the game. He got ejected. It was later shown during the rain delay that Dak spit in the direction of Carter first, but he really spit more at the ground. It sounded like he was going over there to let him know that he wasn't spitting at him, but on the slow replay, he kind of winked. I don't know what exactly happened there. The bottom line on that, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on Spitgate, is Carter spit in Dak's face, and regardless of intent, Dak spit at the ground. So that part is that, but that kind of set the tone early. It was chippy throughout. First half was all offense. Second half really was all defense, as both Vic Fangio and Matt Eberflus made nice adjustments. So really a great football game. And, oh, by the way, there was an hour rain delay late in the third quarter as well, which is why we're filming at past midnight Eastern time. But that's what we do here. So hit that subscribe button. By the way, before I hit record, I saw we were at 10,999 subscribers. Not joking. Literally one subscriber away from 11,000. Who is going to be our 11,000 subscriber? If you want daily NFL and college football content, reaction to big games, we are the channel for you. I would appreciate it if you hit subscribe. All right. Let's kind of go through it here. And let's start at the end, and then we'll kind of go through the flow of the game. How many chances did Dallas have? You know, I got to give Matt Eberflus credit, and this is one thing he consistently did well in Chicago as the defensive coordinator, because he called the defense. Not head coach, he was a disaster. Everybody knows that. But a lot of the time, the Bears would go into the locker room at halftime, and the defense would play much better in the second half. Like, he and his staff would make adjustments. And you saw that tonight. They gave up 21 points, 3 straight touchdowns in the first half, no resistance at all. Gave up an opening drive 58-yard field goal in the second half, so it's not like they even got gashed that much there. And the rest of the game pitched a shutout. The problem is Dallas got shut out in the second half themselves. They lost the second half 3-0 after losing the first half 21-20. So Cowboys defense gave Dallas a lot of chances, and Dak Prescott, he's not really the reason why they didn't take advantage of those. His teammates were. Let's start with the Miles Sanders fumble right before the rain delay. They go straight down the field. Sanders had about a 45-yard run. They get inside the 10, and then there's a penalty. They're backed up. 3rd and goal at the 23. Dak throws a tight window, what you would call a hospital throw, but on 3rd down, you kind of got to fit it in there, and Ferguson drops it, but then they get an unnecessary roughness penalty because he was a defenseless receiver, and big debate on whether or not that's a flag. It's a flag. Whether it should be or not, we can debate that, but by the letter of the law, he was defenseless there. Not sure what Blankenship is supposed to do, but that's just how they're going to call it. It is what it is. But it almost was a ball don't lie situation, because then on the next play, Miles Sanders fumbles. So that took minimum 3 points off the board, if not 7. And then CeeDee Lamb, who for most of the night had a big game going, 7 catches, 110 yards. He had at least 3 drops, and you could debate 4. Now, the last one probably won't go down as a drop. It was 4th and 3, and Dak knew he was facing pressure. One-on-one on the outside, leads CeeDee Lamb. It's full extension dive. It's a $34 million receiver, though, man. You'd like to see him make that play, but even if he doesn't make that one, the drive before, 3rd and 10, Dak throws a BB over the middle, or maybe it was 2 drives before, drop. Hit him right in the hand. How about on that same last drive, little post pattern, Dak, tight window, puts it right on CD, can't bring it in. CeeDee Lamb at the end of the game, he's kind of hitting his chest saying, yeah, like, I blew this game. And he kind of did. CeeDee Lamb and that Miles Sanders fumble are why they lost. I thought for a good chunk of this game, Dallas outplayed Philadelphia. So if you're a Cowboys fan, you're encouraged, but you're also frustrated because what a missed opportunity. You go on the road, there's all this noise going on, you trade Micah, the defense is struggling early, But then defense settles in, Dak's making throws, and he's not getting enough help. Oh, and by the way, in the fourth quarter, the pass protection kind of fell apart. Just a missed opportunity from the Dallas Cowboys tonight. I don't feel like the Eagles really snatched this game. I felt like they just didn't make any mistakes. Dallas made the mistakes, the drops, the only turnover in the game. The only mistake Philly made was before the game even started, essentially, by Jalen Carter, who they clearly missed because Dallas had success running the football early in this game. Javonte Williams had 2 rushing touchdowns in the first half. Dallas ran for 119 yards on 22 carries, 5.4 clip. Sanders ripped off that 49-yarder. So the Cowboys had enough success on the ground to stay balanced enough, but they just missed too many opportunities through the air with some drops by CD. Dak forced a couple balls, got away with a couple, no doubt about it. But, man, if I'm Dallas tonight, I'm encouraged by what I saw if I'm a Cowboys fan, but I'm also like, gosh, I mean, probably should have won that game, but could not get it done. Jalen Hurts was gashing the Cowboys in the first half on the ground. He ends up with 62 rushing yards on 14 carries, but most of these weren't even designed runs. It was just passes that either the coverage was good or he just saw running lanes. And, Shoddy said it at halftime before going into the locker room. He said, yeah, our pass rush lane discipline is not there. And clearly they got that fixed because Hurts, who did ice the game on a little scramble at the end, but for the most part was held in check in the second half. But in the first half, he was just zigzagging. They could not get him to the ground. He was really the Eagles' offense. Saquon Barkley mostly held in check, 18 carries, 60 yards, and a touchdown. Kevin Patullo, first time calling offense since Kellen Moore left. I'm at least mildly concerned that A.J. Brown's first target, not catch, target, didn't come until the final few minutes of the game. He had 1 catch for 8 yards on 1 target. DeVonta Smith, 3 catches, 16 yards. Jahan Dotson caught a 51-yard post, but other than that, he had 2 catches for 8 yards. Dallas Goedert, 7 for 44, basically just little check downs. There was, I get it. They're a run-first team, one of the few in the NFL, but you're paying 2 receivers $60 million combined, and they basically were non-factors in this game. And Dallas started Trayvon Diggs, who basically hasn't played the last 2 years and just got cleared from injury, and Kyer Elam at corner, who was a bust with Buffalo. Like, that's not great. So that's something to track throughout the season. It's Patullo's first game calling plays. Jalen Hurts, they were running the ball with him well. I'm not going to act like it was a complete disaster. They were scoring at will in the first half, but that was really just Hurts in the running game just making shit happen. It wasn't anything, dynamic from a passing standpoint. So that's something I'm going to be tracking throughout the season. Beyond that, not a ton to take away. Like I said, in the first half, it was kind of a track meet. Both teams just not a lot of 30, 40, 50-yard plays or anything. A couple of those in there, but just kind of methodically moving down the field. Dallas more balanced. Philly running the ball mostly with Hurts, converting on third downs. I think Philly was 3 for 3 to start the game. At halftime, you're like, oh, God, the Cowboys could use Micah Parsons. Where's the pass rush? But then they saw some live Kenny Clark, and I think it was Marshawn Nealon shared a sack at one point. Donovan Azaraku beat Jordan Mailata on a speed rush, almost got to Hurts, so that was a nice little rep. I thought Nolan Smith looked pretty good for Philadelphia, so the defenses in the second half were pretty darn good. And I will say this as well, and we've heard this leading into week 1, and they lived up to this. Remember 4 or 5 years ago when the NFL really emphasized the taunting penalty? Well, that appears to be back. We've heard those whispers, and Nolan Smith cracks, I think Miles Sanders, I can't remember who, and he, got in his face a little bit and was John, 15-yard penalty, and you're just like, come on, man. I get it. When you spit on a dude, it's a penalty and likely an ejection. If you crack somebody, this is football. This is testosterone. These are competitors. You can talk a little trash. At least that's what I want as a consumer. And now there's these boomers online. Get back in the huddle. Get for the next play. These guys are putting their fucking bodies on the line. If they can't talk a little trash, maybe this isn't the sport for you. I don't know what to tell you. But, yeah, really a tale of two halves. I thought at times both quarterbacks played really well. I thought at other times it was kind of anemic. This kind of tells the story. The first 8 drives of the game: Cowboys touchdown, Eagles touchdown, Cowboys touchdown, Eagles touchdown, Cowboys field goal, Eagles touchdown, Cowboys field goal, end of half, 21-20. Eagles field goal to take a 24-20 lead early in the second half. And then the last 8 drives: Miles Sanders fumble, Eagles punt, Cowboys punt, Eagles punt, Cowboys punt, Eagles punt, Cowboys turnover on downs, Eagles get 1 first down, ice the game. So first half, offense; second half, defense. Entertaining game. Listen, I can't ask for more to kick off the NFL season. All you don't want is a blowout. Could have done without the rain delay, but hey, just adds to the drama, right? So good to have football back. Good little season opener. Kind of a little bit of everything. Some crisp, some choppiness, some drops, some penalties, some unsportsmanlike conduct, personal fouls, us bitching at the refs, some classic NFL primetime game. You're going to get a little bit of everything. And, you wonder, is Dallas going to be in this NFC East race? Because remember, and I was thinking this the whole night, especially when I was like, man, is Dak going to drive them down and win this game? And if CeeDee catches one of those 2 downfield balls, they might have. No team has repeated as NFC East champs since 03-04 when the Eagles did it. It's over 20 years ago now. Philly won tonight, so they're obviously in first place to start the season, but who knows? Maybe this ends up being a competitive division with Washington and Dallas, and maybe even the Giants, who are all trying to chase down Philadelphia. So good stuff tonight. I definitely enjoyed it and can't complain too much. Football is back, and that is a good thing for everybody. All right, we are out of here. We're going to call it a night. Chiefs-Chargers tomorrow night, so that'll be fun. We'll try to have a reaction video to that as well. My name is Harrison Graham. Hit that sub button. We're coming your way every single day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.